We're living in a dream. This dream, this American dream. 2 cars, 2.5 kids, Hummers with colors named you've never heard of. You now have the right to procreate, but it's becoming increasingly out of fashion. Sex without attachment is not so new vogue. How am I not myself? How am I not myself? How am I not myself? Pray to Calvin Klein idols, false gods of body. GQ called, they want their watch back, and they suggest you stop inhaling their scratch and sniff. Glow. Because you are becoming drunk on fantasy. Gazing eyes, glazing at cover girls on covers who don't look like they do. They tell you you should too. Chin tucked, nip tucked, dignity fucked. All hail the airbrush, all hail industry, capitalism is God's gift to man, and I spell that with lowercase g, because it seems there's nothing proper about that noun anymore. 60% off salvation today, 2 for 1 at your local confessional. How am I not myself? How am I not myself? How am I not myself? Ticker tape tapestries of clearance Walmart identities, ego, no money down, no interest today. Put yourself on layaway. Strange mall creatures wandering in and out of beauty boutiques and caribou coffee reading special interest stories about coffee bean slaves while caffeine and addiction to bad news wonders how many licks to the center of a latte. Once overloaded with materials, now in spiritual poverty, here's the real deal. You've got the raw deal, prepackaged identity and a $50 gift card, mockery of innate character traits. How am I not myself? How am I not myself? How am I not myself? Poets and artists in this increasingly illiterate Facebook TV dinner era are becoming obsolete and must now subsist on merely paint fumes and camaraderie alone. Passion used to be the seed of creativity, but now it's nothing but a cash crop, sold to the highest CEO junkie and the lowest bidder. How am I not myself? How am I not myself? How am I not myself? Thank you. Good evening, Tacoma. How are y'all doing tonight? Good. My name is Coyote. I'm from the Old Growth Poetry Collective. We are the Evergreen State College's first and only performance poetry collective. And we just got started this past fall, and we're up here for the first time out of the Olympia bubble, and we have some poetry to share with you. This is to Jen Bishop and Sarah-Moses-Winyard, and they're going to do some other poems.
Hi again.
Hey.
You want to make love in a Krispy Kreme dumpster. You nearly sold me on the idea, saying, there's no trash inside, just donuts. Day old. It'd be all sap and sweat and sweet yeast. But sugar. Sweet yeast aspires to urinary tract infections. Some scenarios are not bright ideas, despite how brightly they gleam the street lamps dark of your mind. The night you introduced me to the dumpster was the night we grabbed as many donuts as we could, filled a blue whale brown paper sack in celebration, and you drove me, treasure in my lap, to a party by the U District in Seattle. Rain drizzled sweet on city gutters, reflecting our nerve in their light, amplified by cozy bright of a house full of friends who feel most alive with the weight of the world. My right arm plunged through depths of dumpster darkness, midwife's emergence of a pyramid platter, fresh, rosy, messy with icing and jelly, while my ears bramble snagged on guests discussing how much it hurts, how students and workers are treated cow patties of cattle, how when taught about history we're not told about struggles, strikers uniting, fighting for the weekend, or the right to collectively bargain. We've been fed yellow grass, yellow belly lies, manipulations labeled us against them, me against you, me against myself and I, and my generation has yet to discover that our grandparents know what activism means. They learned the leather way that community is mending shredded seams, and they live in Florida or heaven. So we try to learn what happened from pamphlets written hastily in Russia's 1907, which the writers couldn't finish because, holy cow, I gotta skedaddle, the revolution's accelerating, and I started it.
And who started it?
I started it! The kitchen was hot with potluck curry and politics. Beards swirled between hands. We grew drunk on the promise of Marx. Capitalism creates its own gravedigger. You understood when I whined that life is hard, that I want to join the circus, I want to live life joyous, and you want to juggle, so we slid out the side door and hovered above slick sidewalk to comfort away shivers. Ninja jumped from shadow. Sugar, I've been digging deep in my pockets to see what change looks like, but all I've come across are reasons why sustainability has no sustenance in a system based on heart-wrenching this planet. Each city light, you told me, once was a tree. This knowledge turns surrounding darkness beautiful.
Vow only to love those who will leave you for the open road. Traveling Buddhas, fat on the gospel of manifestation, shed fast the burden of Assyrian flesh. Stay in volatile places, sleep in trash heaps, abandoned buildings, and strangers' beds. Make sure they will never be safe to stay again. Stick out your thumb. Your heart is a host for hitchhiking seeds, shedding weeds into cities you'll never see flower. Stick out your thumb. Home comes only in the face of a stranger, offering you a ride to the next list of places you have loved. Stick out your thumb. Forget that hollow place your memory keeps haunting long after you've left. Bomb it. Melt it down, forge a new life on the anvil of desire. Call it Armageddon, call it anger, call it hate or rage. Pretend that it is spiritual seeking, fighting windmills, chasing dragons, sleeping drunk beneath the stars. Ow! The only thing you have in life that will not be hated by others is your silence when offered humbly. Fear not the thunder of your words, though they are stronger magic than sticks and stones. They come from the stream of your bloodline, rumbling over the rubble of Babel, etching their legends into its sediment so that you may sing subtitles over ancient songs. Refuse to be stoic. Refuse, for he who never knows himself cannot know the love of others. Choose to be mystic. Share a line with God, though he be cryptic. Sweet briar flower, have patience in the face of silence that rests its coattails upon your hips. Wait upon the dunes as salamanders flash frozen by the silver moon. Wait for licks of flames to stir the beating of their hearts. No, Apollo will ride come morning tide. You are not Icarus wincing as eyebrows singe. Take pride in the smoke of sacrifice spiraling upwards from your skin. That which burns freely will be replaced should you enter conversation with a burning bush.
So this is another drug recovery poem. I want to thank you for that piece earlier. That was like, it's touching. This poem is for the drug addicts, the dope fiends. This poem is for 90-pound body in gutters like dried fruit. This is for those who shoot. This is for my brothers and sisters who dance with the devil daily, drowned in dope without a hope of life, outside a needle and a spoon. And for some, this couldn't arrive too soon. This poem is for you. You whose disease is a death sentence, your cancer a crime. You who is locked up for possession without a hope of redemption, and your child who is missing you and doesn't understand the reasons the drug war nabbed your daddy. A family broken and out of harmony. Tell me, where's the real armed robbery? This poem is for you who grew up comfortable but were missing something, who graduated from the school bus to the squad car, the pen to the magnum. You who found a home in Haight-Ashbury. No hurry, why worry? Life is a joyride in a stranger's car. Smack is the main line out of the middle class and into an early grave. This is for the track marks we paved. This poem is for you who is on the wait list for an underfunded treatment center for 3 months, deciding between triage through treatment or deliverance through death. Anything to stop the suffering. This poem is reality. I know this poem. This poem is for me. Me who used to pick pieces of pill out of the carpet, sorted whatever came along with the catch. Me who found fear in an empty orange bottle. Me from the birds chirping in the morning would produce paranoia. Me who stayed up for 5 days awake, whose life was a heart through the stake. Me who heard gunshots and lived in psychotic delusions. Me who got clean. Me who no longer lives between high-speed chases and post-mania comas under the covers. This poem is for worried mothers. This poem is for hope. It is for today. Clean and serene. Finally, again, a human being. It is for not being an animal, a slave to my desires, impulse towards deathly indulgence. It is for skin, clear of scabs, face, full of color complexion. It is for a job, an education, getting published. It is for friends and family, proud to call me theirs. This poem is for hope. This poem is also for the fallen. For the soldiers digging their trenches in Southeast DC and Baltimore. What is more, this poem is for my dead kid who struggled no more. For those who gave up on life and greeted the reaper in the back seat of a beat-up caddy, with not an ounce body fat. Emaciated skeletons, dead at 23. This poem is an epitaph. This is a poem against all odds. This poem should be 6 feet under, but it defies gravity. I defy gravity. I defy death.
Know how to do things. I want to know how to be tough. I want to know how to break dance, beatbox, and when a chicken dies in the coop, I want to scoop it up and bury it with my bare hands and not contract the avian flu. And people will whisper, who knew that she could do these things? And then they'll say, maybe I can do these things too.
Thank you very much. We're the Old Growth Poetry Collective.
All right.
Wow, that was great stuff, guys. That's great stuff. So, we're definitely taking donations in the back. If you guys could, if you guys are feeling generous, we'll be passing around the bucket probably a couple times tonight. And if you could just support some of these, like what Jared does, he tours around the entire country, like full-on DIY, just boots on the concrete, relying on generosity of people like you who come out and turn out for these events. So anything you can do to support the cause would be greatly appreciated. And also, I mean, just on a personal note, seeing people come out, I'm so glad you guys broke out of your Olympia bubble. I hope you do it more often because that was really powerful stuff. A lot of this stuff is on a personal note, and I won't get too gooey, but last year I lost an uncle who got dope sick quick and fell fast and hard, and I hear this stuff, and it's really moving, and anyway. But events like this, if we can get people to come out and support events like this in Tacoma, I mean, I think it's so rad, and let's keep doing it. So up next,